The Legend of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Part 1, Chapter 23, Brothers, written and performed by Joseph Chambers and based on the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic books created by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. Friday came, and it was Donatello's turn to get on Raphael's nerves. "Hey, Raph," Donatello said cheerily. "I just did 10 skips in a row without tripping."
"Well done," began Raph sarcastically. "Have a gold star. Turtle of the frickin' month."
"Bro, what's bugging you?" Donatello said in a genuinely caring tone. "Is it the whole training thing? Even you must know we have to practice things over and over again."
"Is that like how you all seem to repeat the same words to me over and over again, like a broken record?"
He twirled his fingers in Donatello's face, almost poking him in both eyes to show a spinning motion. "We're only trying to help," Donatello pleaded.
"Yeah, well, it would be more help if you stopped pissing me off by telling me I'm wrong."
Raphael failed to talk to anyone properly over the next 3 days, and Master Splinter began to worry. It seemed that Raphael needed space, more so than his brothers. Raphael realised this too and was going to stop at nothing to get it. It was just past midnight after the 3rd day of Raphael trying to avoid his family. Whilst Leonardo was in a deep meditation session and Donatello and Master Splinter were sleeping, Raphael and Michelangelo were wide awake and about to visit the surface. They were supposed to be doing maths homework, which their father had set them as they were homeschooled, but Raphael had other plans and had managed to convince an easily manipulated Michelangelo to join him on an ill-thought-out escapade. Michelangelo was shaking, although the action was so vigorous it was more like he was vibrating similar to an idle bus, and he nearly wet his shell every time even the slightest sound interrupted the deafening silence of the cavernous sewerage tunnels. Raphael had an incredibly smug look on his face and seemed to be walking with powerful determination that looked bold and menacing in comparison with the tentative steps of his smaller and younger brother. "And you're sure that doing this will prove I'm a true ninja?" Mikey beamed despite his continuous vibrating with fear.
"Yeah, of course it will,"
Raphael lied. His brother was very easy to control. As the smallest of the turtles, Michelangelo would do anything if he thought it would make him appear as good as his brothers. Truth be told, he always had been just as good a ninja as the rest of his family, but Raph was not going to admit that to him anytime soon. The more he put him down, the more he could use him like this. Michelangelo's wanting to be liked and respected was his unintentional undoing. His ability to see good intentions in everyone, even when there truly wasn't any, was also not helping. They arrived after a lengthy walk and climbed to the surface at a box-like warehouse. The metal on the outside of the building looked very clean and startlingly bright. In thick and bold maroon paint on the structure were the letters TCRI. This was surrounded by a perimeter of electric chain-link fence, which moved with the wind like a flag of darkness. Proximate to the perimeter of chain-link fence on the building were 2 armed security guards. These guards, however, were armed with ninja weaponry rather than the typical guns you might expect. One had a kunai, a type of arrowhead with a short metal handle, and the other a yumi and ya, a Japanese bow and arrow. Dude, why are we at Creepsville Central?" Mikey asked, quivering.
"I don't often watch the news, but I caught a glimpse of this place. Massive worries about health and safety one week, and nothing changes, but the next week nobody's complaining. In fact, the news practically praised this place. I just thought it was a bit odd, so I wanted to look around. If there's anything going on, then we can stop some bad guys. If not, then we can just stretch our legs and get some fresh air. Either way, win-win."
Raph answered. "Unless we get caught by humans or Master Splinter finds out or we die." Mikey listed, counting the negatives on all 3 digits of his right hand. Raphael pretended not to hear this.
Leo would have a plan, so what's your plan?
Mikey asked. Raphael burst into a bout of laughter.
I never have a plan. Plans are for wimps and crybabies.
I'm not sure Master Splinter would agree.
Yeah, well, Sensei's not here, and I say we don't need a plan.
Raphael grunted.
On 3, we charge at the gate. 1, 2...
Then both boys leapt up, with Mikey hurtling towards the guards and Raph trailing slightly behind. Michelangelo had whipped his nunchaku from his leather belt. He began to swing them above him, and the guards looked up. Before they could act, he had already side-kicked one into a nearby electric fence. The guard let out a rather high-pitched scream for a muscular man of his 30s as he got frazzled by the gate and passed out from the shock of it all. The second man, who had simply stared in childish awe as his colleague had been taken down by the semi-turtle creature, made an attempt to use his yummy and yar to try and hurtle arrows at Raphael, who was running towards the scene to help his brother. He was stopped by Michelangelo, who managed to knock him on the head with the left nunchaku and then punch him in the stomach to bring him to the floor. Raphael then caught up with his brother, picked up the man by one arm and threw him down so as to cause him to pass out.
They really need to train these guys better,
Michelangelo commented, looking at the unconscious guards.
Nah, Raph responded. Where would be the fun in that for us?
Raphael then got his small grappling hook out from a back pocket in his belt and secured it to the warehouse wall before climbing the rope over the fence and landing with a graceful thud in his own style of crouch, with one knee touching the ground and one arm acting as a pillar to balance himself. There was no real need to land like this other than the bent knees to absorb the impact. The rest was just Raphael showing off something he had seen someone do in a movie. Raph then found a button on the inside of the gate and opened it, and Michelangelo slipped inside the confines of the ominous warehouse zone.
Okay, Raph, what are we going to do now? I told you I don't make plans.
Man, I'm really not liking this, Mikey mumbled quietly.